This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Rob Taylor in studio, and we move over to the baseball diamond off-season moves. Some meetings going on down in Florida, down in Orlando, and probably not going to be a lot of deals done right now. Free agency has just been opened up for, I don't know, a week, 10 days or whatever, so later in free agency they'll get to some big moves. But if you're the Red Sox, what is your number one priority? I know people want to trade for Stanton and want the big push, but there's some free agents out there. Do you think they'll? I mean, they got to make a move of some sort, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Their immediate needs right now: first baseman, and I would say a good utility outfielder to basically, stack the deck a little bit for him, continue that kind of thing. I've done a little research about sort of the hot stove. I mean, we're coming up on hot stove when it gets cold outside.
Right.
And we snuggle around the hot stove to talk about the Sox. That's really when it gets really rolling here. I know that they've expressed interest in Stanton. My heart of hearts is telling me they're probably not the number one pick. I think he's actually expressed some disinterest, if you would. I mean, he's playing some of those cards that he's got in his deck.
Yeah, full no trade clause.
Yeah, he can kind of play around with that. You never know what happens in baseball. That's one of the things I like most about baseball is anything really can happen. And sometimes it's the thing you least expect that will happen. I've heard them talking about dangling Jackie Bradley Jr. out there, trying to get some value out of him in terms of a trade and moving him. But I really think Dombrowski is taking the long-term, philosophy to heart. He's not going to get rid of young talent to try to bring in anybody big and make any huge splash. I mean, we really got a solid core. Another need I think that Dombrowski's got to deal with real quick is Pedroia at second base. He's going to be coming off of surgery and recovery time. So he's not going to be ready first thing next year. So he's got to probably get somebody, maybe a utility infielder. I've heard some names batted around there. A guy named Martinez is somebody that they're looking at. So we'll see. I mean, there's a few small additions. Obviously, we could always use good pitching. But I like where we're at. And hopefully the addition of Alex Cora at manager's position and just that whole sort of the intangible stuff, the chemistry in the locker room is hopefully what we can really build on.
Yeah, and it seems like the easiest piece that they could get is a first baseman who can hit for some power and get some home runs. Because you're right, if they're trading for Stanton, they're going to have to give up pieces. They're going to have to take on a lot of salary, and they might not want to do that. If they want to trade for an outfielder, they don't like a J.D. Martinez or sign a free agent like J.D. Martinez. They don't really have an outfield spot for him. They've got, if they're going to keep Betts, Bradley, and Benintendi. So it looks like maybe like an Eric Hosmer from previously of the Royals, who's a free agent. He might be a fit, but you're right. That known second base spot, they're well forgotten because we've had Pedroia there for so long. He could be out. I mean, I think he's going to be out at least a couple months, possibly longer. And you just don't know how he'll react, how he'll come back. So I think that's one position that is kind of flying under the radar, but it's going to be a big need for the Red Sox and Dombrowski. So second base, and then, but I got to imagine that power is their number one. However they get it, they got to focus on it because they had like something like 168 home runs or something, which was not really that high. I don't think anybody hit 25 home runs. So power, probably their number one need, somehow.
Absolutely.
Whether trade or free agent, right?
You betcha.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see because you're right, there's always starters out there and there's always relief pitchers. So it'll be a fun offseason, lots going on. They got their manager. Now they just got to start filling in the lineup and getting those pieces because the Yankees, they don't look like they're going away at all. I mean, Aaron Judge winning the Rookie of the Year unanimously. He's going to be around for a while, so it's going to be a tough American League East. So we'll see what they do in the coming weeks. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk some regional and local high school and college sports, and then we'll get to our Salt Hill Pub picks of the week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.